Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most fun experiences on Roblox I've had of recent, which is get a snack at 4 AM. It's fun, entertaining, and a short experience that everyone should try. But today I want to rank each ending in the game, and I'm only including the mandatory endings that give you the get all the endings badge. Those endings include chips, sleep, toothpaste, ultra death, shoplift, fire, freezer, breakfast, orange, flooded, and the finale. Also, this list is only my opinion. I played this game 3 times or so these are my full opinions. Also, I will spoil the entire game and ending, so if you haven't played the game, please go do it now, it's so good. I'll rank the endings based mostly on how fun they were and which I enjoyed the most, so let's begin. Fire's my least favorite ending. It's very similar to Freezer since you have to wait a while to get the ending, but even though Freezer takes longer to get, the reward is still better. I'll explain that later. Fire takes place in your house, which is nothing new, and after placing an item on the stove, you just have to wait for a minute straight. The ending was slightly amusing on my first playthrough, but on replays it's something I'm not really looking forward to. I still kinda liked it though, but also let me remind you, I think none of these endings are bad. Some are just better than others, so let's move on. Speaking of Freezer, Freezer is an ending where you have to wait for a grand total of 6 minutes, I think, to get the ending. That sounds scary and sounds like it would be very boring, which it is if you don't know what to do. What's best to do while waiting for the freezer to become open is to either put sodas in the vending machines or the sewer, which makes this ending not a complete waste of time. You can also get the more like belongs in a trash badge like I did in my playthrough. But the reason this ending is higher than fire, oh my gosh that rhymed, is the reward. After beating fire, you just die, but in freezer, you get to go into the freezer room, which I really like. I love all the Easter eggs, and I think the area is well designed. I think freezer is a good enough ending if you know what to do. Toothpaste is an extremely short ending with a very funny surprise. It's very simple, and the concept itself is just fun to me. There's very little to discuss about this endings, though it's short and sweet. Sleep and chips are very similar to each other, but the one I would rank the lowest out of the two is sleep. Sleep is like the good ending of chips. It's very basic, but for me it was really fun to figure this one out for myself. I got this after chips and I didn't need to look up anything. I just tried it out and it led to an ending. And that's what I really like about the game. Experimenting might lead to new discoveries. All the puzzle pieces are there and you can find every ending without looking anything up, and that's great. Anyway, sleep is decent. Chips is most likely the first ending you would get in the game. You basically just get caught by Dad, which is a fun surprise. When new players come to the game, one of the first things they will do is to wake up Dad, and it's cool to see him in an actual ending. So I think this is fun. This is a nice introduction to the game, which is very simple, but still amusing. Shoplift is another ending that almost everyone has experienced. It's even so common that it shows how many times you shoplifted in the credits. This ending also shows that the NPCs know more than they seem, and that they aren't that dumb, except for that he has no intelligence. They pay attention, and they don't just let things like shoplifting slide. So this ending actually hints that there is a story here, and I think that's very cool. Also, I love the cashier. He's my favorite character in the game. That's just hilarious. Orange is another very short ending, which I just like a lot. I also like how the more times you pick up the orange, the more progressively angry the narration gets at you. This feels like a world-ending event when you pick up the orange, and how bizarre this whole ending is just makes me love it. It's short, but great. Ultra Death is another ending that can be easily obtained by experimenting, and it was really cool to find for yourself, but I already explained all that in Sleep. This also kickstarts the actual story of the game with the introduction of Dummy. This is an ending that is so bizarre in concept, but just somehow works. Also, the dialogue isn't too bad in this ending, it's not too long, and it was insightful enough. A really cool ending. is my favorite regular ending where nothing crazy or world ending happens. The reason being that there are so many variations of this ending. There are so many different combinations you can make, like making a bad breakfast, a decent breakfast, or a perfect breakfast, and each possibility has a possibility of its own. Just look at the wiki. This ending is quite deep and there are so many possibilities. This ending is very simple in concept, but it is the ending with the most endings. Okay, that just sounds confusing. Let's just leave it and move on to number 2. Surprising some, the finale is not my favorite ending. What happened here? The finale is the final thing that happens in the game and introduces the orb as a threat. The orb was just kinda there in the game at first, though it wasn't anything special, but a lot is revealed about the orb and a lot of weird things happen and the world falls apart. You meet Dummy and play as cashier, and you meet the cube, which gives a ton of exposition and brings the game to a happy end. I really like this ending, and I think it was very good, but yeah, it's the dialogue. Not even because of repeat playthroughs. On my first playthrough of the game, I felt the dialogue in this ending lasted for too long. It mostly answered all my questions, which made me satisfied, but even though it was very long, I still love the ending. But now, let's move on to my favorite ending in the entire game. Flooded is my favorite ending in the game, not just because of what happens, but also what leads up to the ending. You have to both put sodas in the vending machine and give sodas to a guy in the sewer who I bet look like this. These are fun things to do, and the payoff for doing this is amazing. Soda floods the entire town, and you and the cashier work together to get to safety. This whole thing is also a callback to the freezer ending with a lot of self-aware jokes, which I enjoy a lot. It's a mission with a lot of payoff, and I love it. So that's why I think this is the best ending in Get a Snack at 4 AM. So thanks everyone for watching. I just love making videos about the games I play, and I also need suggestions for the next video. I know everyone wants 200 days, but I'll just have to wait for a little while. But I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.